Hi friends, welcome to my channel Cricket Fantasy Stats. In this video we are going to discuss about England versus Sri Lanka match preview. So this is a must-win match for England to confirm the semi-final spot, else New Zealand and Australia will go through to semi-finals. So before moving on with choosing the right players for this match, there are few other important points which needs to be discussed especially for this match. The first point is the pitch and the venue. So the match is going to be held at the Sydney Cricket Association, and this pitch is going to be played on a used surface. So used surface means there were matches played earlier on this pitch, and when the matches is being played on a used pitch, this gives a lot of advantage, especially to the spinners in their second innings. So spinners will be key in this game, especially in the second innings. The second thing is the teams batting first at this venue has won 12 matches out of 16 matches. So this is an interesting fact to be observed, and you can make your teams in such a way that the batting first team gets more points than the team batting second. It's because the pitch gets slowed down in the second innings and becomes little difficult for the batters to score. Hence, the batting first team had always won more matches in this venue. The third point is the second innings pacers and second inning spinners has taken more wickets in this venue than the first inning pacers and spinners. So this is a crucial point to be noted when making your fantasy teams, giving priority to the second innings pacers and spinners. Now let's move on to the player analysis. Getting started with the wicketkeeper category, we have two choices, Josh Butler and Kushal Mendes. So Josh Butler is a dangerous batsman, especially in this format, and he is a must pick in your fantasy teams. He is having a head-to-head record of 89 average, believe it or not. His record against Sri Lanka is looking very good, and he must be a must pick in your fantasy team and a captaincy choice. So Josh Butler can be captaincy pick in your teams. Kushal Mendes, his current form is not so good, but when Sri Lanka is batting first, pick Kushal Mendes. He has consistently scored about 30 runs, 29 runs when Sri Lanka is batting first, and can fetch you points with wicket keeping as well. So when Sri Lanka is batting first, Kushal Mendes is a must pick in your fantasy teams and can be ignored when Sri Lanka is chasing. So now looking at the batting category, Alex Hales. He is a must pick in your fantasy team, and he has a head-to-head record of 48 average against Sri Lanka. His record is looking so good, and he can also be considered as a captaincy choice. He can be made as a Grand League captain in this match. Padun Nisanka is another good pick and a must pick in this batting category, as his record in Australian pitches is looking good. So Padon Nisanka has scored in 5 matches 189 runs in Australian pitches at an average of 35. So his record is looking good, especially in Australian pitches, and must be a must pick in your fantasy teams in both the innings. Risk takers can try Padon Nisanka as a captain in your Grand League teams. So David Malan is an interesting pick because we don't know whether Malan gets to bat or not. It's quite risky to pick Malan because both Butler and Hill's record are looking tremendous against Sri Lanka and can dominate against the Sri Lankan pacers. So if the Malan and Hill's partnership is looking good, then Malan doesn't get a chance. Sorry, if Butler and Hill's partnership is looking good, then Malan doesn't get a chance to bat, and the England hitters Moeen Ali, Livingston will get promoted to bat, and Malan's chance of batting is very less. So he is a riskier pick in the batting category, whereas Bhanuka Rajapaksha. Interesting fact about him is he's a very hard hitter and loves to play especially at the batting surface. This pitch favors batters well. So Bhanuka Rajapaksha will be your trump card pick in this match, especially when Sri Lanka is batting first. Don't avoid him when Sri Lanka is batting first. Dasun Shanaka, and very good all-rounder, but his chance of bowling is very less. Looking at his record, when Sri Lanka is batting second, he has scored 35 runs in one innings, in another innings 32 runs. So he will be a trump card pick when Sri Lanka is batting second. So Dashun Shanaka can be considered in your fantasy teams, especially when Sri Lanka is chasing. Moeen Ali can be tried in your fantasy teams when England is batting first, but again it's a riskier pick because we don't know whether Moeen Ali gets a chance to bat or not. Asalanka has not been in so good form in this tournament and can be picked as a differential choice when Sri Lanka is batting first. In the all-rounder category, Hasalanka would be a default pick, Sam Curran would be a default pick. So these two picks are a must pick in your fantasy teams, and a captain or vice captain choices. So look at Sam Curran is having a very good record against Sri Lanka with picking up 5 wickets in 3 matches. So in both the innings, Sam Curran has taken wickets for England against Sri Lanka, and he can be considered as a captaincy choice. Hasaranga, an interesting choice because when Sri Lanka is bowling first, his record is not looking so good. On the other hand, when Sri Lanka is bowling second, his captaincy choice becomes riskier because if Sri Lanka scores less runs, it would be an easier target for England and can be chased without losing any wickets. So Hasaranga will be a riskier choice in this match as captain and vice captain. Dhananjaya De Silva, pick him in your fantasy teams only when Sri Lanka is bowling first. He has bowled 1 or 2 overs in every match and has taken at least one wicket. In the last match, his form was very good, but against a stronger opponent like England, it becomes difficult for him to score runs. So pick Dhananjaya De Silva only when Sri Lanka is bowling first. Ben Stokes, a proper all-rounder for the England team, but his bowling is not sure. In the recent matches, we have seen him not bowling full quota of overs, or he is bowling only either 1 or 2 overs. I suggest he can be dropped in your fantasy teams because his record is not looking so good. Liam Livingston. He should be a must pick in your fantasy teams when England is batting first. His record is looking dangerous when England is batting first, and he has a knack of picking wickets in the second innings as well. And remember one key thing, this pitch supports spinners in the second innings and he has a knack of taking wickets. Livingston can be considered as a Grand League captain when England is batting first. In the bowling section, Marquardt is a must pick in both the innings. Lahiru Kumara. Similar to Padum Nisanka, Lahiru Kumara's record in Australian pitches is looking good. So pick him when Sri Lanka is bowling first. Similarly, Rajitha, his record in bowling first is looking good. He can be your differential pick when Sri Lanka is bowling first and can be avoided when bowling second. So the reason for picking Rajitha when Sri Lanka is bowling first is he gets a chance to bowl at that and can take wickets. Adil Rashid record is very good against Sri Lanka, but his current form is poor. Pick him in your fantasy teams when England is bowling second, and he will be your differential pick when England bowls second. Between Chris Wokes and Tikshana. Tikshana's record is not so good against England, but one thing about Tikshana is in the last match we have seen him, he was given a chance to bowl at death. So it's a pure captain's choice whether Tikshana to bowl at death or not. If Tikshana bowls at death, he can take wickets, but his record is against England is not looking good. So Tikshana can be avoided in your fantasy teams. Similarly, Chris Wokes, he was also bowling at the death for England in the last match, and he can be considered in your fantasy teams, especially when England is bowling second. When England is bowling first, you can avoid Chris Wokes, but when England is bowling second, he is a must pick and has a knack of picking wickets in the power play. So Chris Jordan doesn't get a chance to play, but if he gets a chance to play, remember his record against Sri Lanka is looking so good, and he can be a captain choice in both the innings when England is bowling first or second. But his chances of getting to play is very less. So now looking at the captain choices, Josh Butler, the default captaincy choice and a good captaincy choice in this match because his average is looking very good. Sam Curran, another captaincy choice because his record is looking so good in both the innings. Hasaranka, as discussed, is a riskier captaincy choice because his record is not looking so good. For players who are playing Grand League, you can consider Alex Hales as a captaincy choice, Padun Nisanka as a captaincy choice, and Mark Wood can be considered as a captaincy choice in the Grand League when England is bowling first. Hope this video helps you to create the best winning fantasy teams and win big. Please do like, share and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you.